Appreciate you guys being here today. You know, obviously, I know it's not February, but it's starting to feel a little bit like Groundhog's Day in here. Hats off to our guys. You know, they fought their tails off. It was not quite a pretty game, but we made we made some plays defensively. We made some plays in the special teams, and offensively, even though we didn't score as many points as we wanted to, we did make some plays offensively. The message to the team, really has been, hey, defense, hold them to one less score. Offensively, score one more time. And if we do that, we find ourselves in a little more favorable situation. From an injury perspective, Tillman left the game, but that was more of a precautionary deal. I anticipate him being able to practice today. We'll evaluate that as we go. Really, 48 hours is really the window that you can really tell about injuries. Just because everybody's sore on Sunday, and so when you get to practice on Monday, you're feeling a little bit better. If you still feel like crap Monday night, then probably something serious wrong with you. We'll get you checked out. But other than that, right tackle got dinged up. You'll see the doctor this afternoon. But other than that, just your normal bumps and bruises, and now we kind of turn our attention to the Gorillas, who are sitting there at 6-2 waiting for us. Good football team. I compare them to a lot of the teams in our league. Their defense is pretty stingy. They're top 3 in most of the categories defensively, so offensively we'll have our work cut out for us. Their offense, extremely efficient. I don't see a whole lot of glaring weak spots, but it's not like an Emporia State or Central Missouri where you're like, man, their passing game is ridiculously good. They just are really efficient. Not a lot of negative plays, led by a senior quarterback who's been in the program for a little bit. So we'll be a tough matchup, but we're excited to go over and play and lay it out on the line.
Obviously, big game coming up, rivalry game, but are you doing your best to make your players treat it like any other game, or would you rather have them lean into it, kind of bring as much energy and passion as possible?
Yeah, no matter what I do, from a standpoint of, hey, this is just another game, it always rings a little differently from a standpoint of their roster knows our roster. Their roster either played against them in high school, or they knew them for JUCO. I mean, when you're this close, you see a lot of the same faces throughout recruiting. I know they come over here a lot for haircuts and the mall and cane. So there's a familiarity with their roster, and even our staff has quite a bit of familiarity. So to say it's just another game, it would be coach talk. These guys are excited to play. We've got our own motives in terms of we're still chasing a lot of goals. We get an opportunity to face the top 15 team. We get an opportunity to face a team that is going to be in the national playoffs. So there's a lot of outside incentives other than the rivalry. I mean, we want to win this game for a whole host of reasons.
The bend don't break defense continues to really be a theme of this team, I think. How is that gonna apply to this game? How are you gonna try to keep the Gorillas out of the end zone?
Yeah, I mean it's the same. I mean, I think probably 15 years ago, offenses, I don't know, they just got better than defenses, and so I know Bergmann won't want to hear that, but the thought of saying, hey, we're going to come in and hold this team to 3 points or 0 points, or you don't see a lot of shutouts, even in lopsided games, even Alabama versus Troy. You know what I mean? It's hard to get to just completely snuff out an offense, and so that's where the birth of the bend but don't break mentality comes from. Just the understanding of, hey, you're going to give up some plays, but what you got to make them do is you got to make them earn it. You got to make them work down the field. We got to be opportunistic when the ball's in the air or the ball's on the ground. We got to get after it. So it'll be no different. We're early in game planning, but by today at 4, we'll be able to say, hey, we're going to, on this down and distance and this part of the field, we're going to try to take this away. vice versa. Like, hey, we know we're susceptible to this, but this is what we're really playing. So that's kind of the goal going into it.
And the offenses look really good at times. Sometimes it struggles with inconsistency. What is something, that you can do, prepare the team in just 1 week to just try to help with that inconsistency?
Yeah, it's kind of, I was talking to somebody prior to this, it's interesting, like Nebraska Carnie comes in 5-2, and man, their defense was right there with Pitt, and the stats trade places with them in a lot of spots, and so, our coaches, went to work and had a great game plan, and we found a way to have one of our better offensive outputs, and then, on paper, Missouri Western was not as good, and we struggled. So it's a little bit of a matchup deal, it's a little bit of a style deal, but the thing I would tell you is that week in, week out, you're not seeing like an offense that's scared. It's not you don't have our old line, like, oh man, what are we gonna do? No, like they're accepting the challenge, they're excited, they turn the film on, it's an opportunity to prove themselves, and so we gotta, I know a week doesn't seem like a lot of time, but we get a lot done in a week.
Coach, as we look back at last week, we kind of got caught in a perfect storm in a lot of ways. We're coming off a win. We're looking forward to a Pitt State team. It's homecoming. There's a lot of things that were going on. Did we get caught in a trap game looking ahead?
No, I would tell you, I would tell you our guys are very much in the moment. Week in and week out, we're very much in the moment. I think our guys would tell you we haven't earned the right to look ahead. We have not accomplished anything that would give us that right. So, no, I don't think we got caught in the moment. I think what we faced an MIAA team, if prior to the Carney week, if we were to have a pool in here and say, okay, is Southern going to beat Carney or are they going to beat Mo West? I think most people would say, oh, they're going to lose to Carney and beat Mo West. Well, we beat Mo West, or we beat Carney and we lost Mo. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those deals where I thought Carney or Mo West came in with a good game plan, and they were able to accomplish that game plan and got the W.
When we look at the evolution of our team from where we thought we would be at the beginning of the season to where we are really a little past midway.
Yeah.
Overall, are you pleased with what you've seen as far as the intensity and the growth and the way we've stair-stepped up from week to week?
Yeah, pleased and pissed all at the same time. My wife and I were actually talking about it last night. Last year when we were in these games, it was kind of over in the third quarter. You know what I mean? So you started your grieving process in the game. Whereas now we're in these one-score games that emotionally and mentally you're in it all the way through the end, and so you're just kind of snatched from you, and so the grieving doesn't start till after the game. So yeah, it does show signs of growth because we are competing. We're right there. We're just a few plays away, but I think that growth is painful. That growth is frustrating. That growth is trying. I got a visor on because 6 more gray hairs popped up just on Sunday. You know what I mean? Like it's hard, but like I said, that's part of college football. Watching these guys develop, watching these guys grow up, and when we finally get to the other side, it'll be a great deal.
For the upcoming matchup against Pitt State, kind of two programs in a little bit of different situations. Pitt State kind of on thin ice. If they lose one more game, they're out of the running for the conference. So how can you maybe use that to your advantage, knowing that the Gorillas kind of have everything to lose going into this matchup?
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's more so we got a lot to play for. Like I said, what's still in grasp is, and as crazy as it sounds, like what's still in grasp is a winning record. What's still in grasp is beating a ranked opponent. What's still in grasp is sitting these seniors out with the third best record in 30 years at Missouri Southern. So what's still in grasp is respect on a whole nother level from the MIAA. So yeah, I get it. They have a different list of things that they're playing for. But we got a lot to lose. You know what I mean? Like I want to send these seniors out the right way. We talked about it on Sunday with our team that we're entering a 3-game season. And for the seniors, we're entering a 3-game career. And so I think our guys are geeked up, our guys are excited. Our guys have just a passion for gratitude and appreciation for the opportunity to go out and play football. Because they know like this little window of their life doesn't last forever. And so they want to take advantage of it right now while they're in the moment.
You mentioned kind of earlier the familiarity with the two programs, a lot of the players, all in the same area. But for the coaching staff, very familiar with one another as well. How do you think that kind of plays a part into the chess match of preparation for these two squads?
Yeah, I mean, it's always funny because, pre-game, before the teams get out there, you see guys that are your colleagues, you see guys that you know from the profession, and, you shake hands and you exchange pleasantries, and then you turn around and you mumble, man, screw that guy, you know what I mean? So no, there's a little bit of chess match, but here's the deal. We got 8 games on them on film. They got 8 games of us on film. Whatever personal chess matches might occur doesn't trump the 8 games of film and scheme that they have on us and we have on them.
Absolutely. And kind of going back to Saturday's game, one of the bright spots of the offense sitting right here, Isaiah Padello, career high 134 yards. What do you think of just his performance, making some big catches, whether it be Tillman or Chris Donahue under center?
Yeah, and I think that's what, our team is about. Like, he didn't go out there thinking about the struggles of our offense. He went out there of how can I make our football team better. And so when he got called in a one-on-one matchup, he went up and got it. He had another one that got called back with the lineman downfield. You know what I mean? So like that is the mentality of those guys. Is what can I do? What is my role in pushing us toward a victory? And like I said, they don't necessarily think of we're in the midst of a struggle. It's just, hey, what's next? What's next? Because the bottom line is, with all the struggles that we had on all phases, we were in the ball game. You know what I mean? We were very much in it all the way to the end.
Gotcha. And last one for me on the defensive side, Zach Bergmann has really led the team in tackles all but one game, really just consistently kind of been a stalwart at that linebacker position. What do you think of just his ability to kind of stay consistent game in and game out with these big performances?
I think it starts with his position coach. I think Coach Bradley has done a hell of a job with him, managing his reps so that he could stay fresh. No, here's the deal. Every so often, and I don't want to speak for Zach, but I think for Zach to come off a knee injury last year, 2 years ago the ankle injury, I think what you see is this passion for football that can only come from a guy that lost 2 years of eligibility because of injury. And so there was a point last year, again, Zach can speak to this, there was a point last year where there was a doctor telling him, hey, maybe you shouldn't play football anymore. So like if you hear that and then you jump in Zach's brain, like it's real easy to come out and just play with your hair on fire because less than 365 days ago they were telling you shouldn't play anymore. You know what I mean? Like, so you can see he plays the game the right way. He plays it from the beginning whistle to the end whistle. He lays it all out on the field. He's a guy, he's the first one in the meeting room. He's the first one to have the film watched. He's the last one that's here with Coach Patasso watching the film late at night. Like, he is laying it out there on the line and it's showing up in his production. It's really not the position coach.
I'm all good.
Awesome.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
So now you do the reverse, you say it's business.
Yeah, we are spot now. Zach Bergmann, I'm senior linebacker.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Zach,
Thank you,
as
Coach.
we talk about this season, talk about how much it means to be out on the field after, as Coach Bradley mentioned, you haven't been able to finish the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I love doing, playing football, this is what I've grown up doing. So like you said, taken it away from me a couple times this past couple of years, but man, I'm enjoying the opportunity every time I step out there, injuries not in my head, doubting myself's not in my head, every time, like I was down and I'm going to freaking put in extra work, to be in the position I'm in now. So yeah, I'm just freaking blessed to be out there with my guys.
Talk about the interception on Saturday. Was it one where you could read the eyes of the quarterback and you were able to pick up where he was going to go with the ball?
Yeah, I think if you watch the play, it kind of developed kind of slowly, and the tight end leaked out behind me, and I'm a little hole man player right there, and my man was staying in the backfield, so I read the quarterback's eyes, able to get underneath that. So yeah, just they could play the ball.
Talk about not just your position room, but the defense as a whole. You guys have struggled at times. You guys have played really well at times. How hard is it to find the consistency that you need to week in and week out to compete?
Yeah, I mean, if you've showed up or watched every one of our game, I think honestly, this defense has been a pretty consistent defense, other than Central Missouri. If you've watched us, man, we go out and compete, and every time I'm asked about this team, every time I'm asked about these guys, like, I tell them how much I love playing with this defense, like, you don't just count on me. I can look out on the perimeter. I see guys making plays. Like, man, it's so fun to play with this particular group. And, like, every single one of us would say that every single guy, whether they're starting, whether they're extreme, like, we just love going out there and playing with each other without a doubt.
Talk about the trust that you all have for each other, not just in your linebacker group, but the trust that you have in the defensive backs to do what they're supposed to do, the defensive line. Through the constant theme that you all have had is that you're is 111. Talk about what that means and the trust you all have just amongst the defense.
Yeah, I think, like, years prior, sometimes we've had a little bit of weak points, throughout the defense, and we were aware of that. We had to pick up in places that we, were being put down, and this year, we have guys that are picking us up everywhere around the field, and so, yeah, I think 111 is obviously the job of everybody, but, if somebody doesn't do their job, if somebody misses a fit, then we have 10 more guys freaking flying at the ball, and that's what defense is about,
What do you think really was kind of the X factor there in that second half for the defense, limiting Missouri Western to just 3 points? What was really clicking for you guys there?
I think if you, being part of that game at the beginning, they kind of got ahead of us quick, and it's kind of felt like we were a step behind, and it kind of felt like that for the beginning of the whole first half, and so, we got together in the second half, and over halftime, we were like, hey, what can we do to just limit this team as much as we can, and help out our offense as much as we can? So, we're scheming things up, but man, it just comes down to our guys playing as hard as we can, and that's what we're going to do every time.
Definitely. Looking ahead to the Pitt State matchup, I know you guys are kind of early in your preparation, but just what have you seen from their offense? Kind of Coach just mentioned, how lethal they can be, got a solid quarterback, 200 running backfield. I mean, what do you see from them? How do you think you guys can have some success?
Yeah, I think they're just another, like Coach says, every team in this league solid. We talk about Missouri Western, everybody's like, hey, they were 1-6, we should beat them. Man, these teams are good, these MIAA opponents. Like, West play with a lot of great teams. Anybody can win these matchups every week, just like we can go in and beat Pitt and change this season around, man. So, yeah, I think they're a very consistent team. They're a very hard-working team. They're going to bring it all out. They've got thousands of fans that are watching them, so they know what they have to play for. Their playoff implications are outlined, So we get to go have an awesome opportunity to go destroy that, And, yeah, I think it's just another opportunity for us to go out and prove ourselves. And, a couple times we stepped short this year, but, hey, we've got an awesome opportunity to go out there and do all the right things and show the people what's really up.
Is there maybe kind of an extra motivation? Obviously, there's motivation for the rivalry game, but is there maybe extra motivation knowing that if you guys beat them, it kind of ruins their chances of winning the conference?
Yeah, I think that's obviously awesome, and there's going to be a team who does win the conference, and no matter what happens, whether we beat them or not. But I think the coolest part is, like I said, just we get to go and have a chance to go beat Pitt State at Pitt State in front of all those people, and that doesn't get you fired up. That doesn't get this team fired up, then we're doing the wrong things.
Yeah, I mean, this game is a big deal to a lot of people in the area, but what does the rivalry mean to you?
Yeah, I've seen coaches we've got Coach Bradley, Coach Padello, coaches on our roster that are like, those guys are from, I'm sorry, Coach Harlow, I'm leaving you out. Guys that are from this area, and they grew up in Joplin, so they grew up with this rivalry. So I'm from Springfield, I didn't really know about it until I got here, and ever since it's been a part of me now, and so it just getting able to go compete against them is just a great opportunity to compete for the coaches that are from this area is what it's all about.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for your time.
Isaiah Padello, sophomore wide receiver.
Talk about the difference between your two quarterbacks that we saw play on Saturday, the delivery of the ball, that kind of stuff from the receiver position. It's different when you have a different guy throwing you the ball.
100%. Just Chris and Tillman, they're both dogs. You know, they both are able to sling the rock, and they both can do their jobs at 100%. And I would say there's not really much of a difference. Just like that, they just go out and play. You know, that's really what our offense is about. Just go out and play and making plays. And you know, when Tillman got injured, like Coach Meyer said, next man up. And Chris did that. He came out and played his best. And you know, unfortunately, we didn't come out with the win, but you know, we still fought hard though.
Talk about when you are in the situation you're in on Saturday, you have that one-on-one matchup, and you're able to find that guy. Can you see it in his eyes that you've got him?
100%. You know, when I line him against a guy, all I'm thinking about is that I'm gonna go win. You know, and hopefully that Chris throws it to me, and he did Saturday. Thankfully. You know, but you know, when it just comes to that one-on-one matchups, I just hope that our quarterbacks can trust me to win those one-on-ones, and you know, I did that on Saturday, and I'm just gonna continue to do that every single Saturday.
Seems like the trust in you changed when you came down with big catch at the end of a half for a touchdown. Do you feel that way as well?
Yeah, I think it did change, but you know, I've always like thought that I've had that one-on-one aspect, you know, and I'm just glad that I just be able to show it this Saturday, and you know, just make those big plays for offense.
I feel like every sport kind of has like a in the zone type thing. I mean, after you make, whether it be 1 or 2 catches, what's kind of going through your head? Are you feeling just super confident?
100%, you know, just making that first initial catch is just what starts the game off like, oh wow, yeah, this is what it's going to be like for the rest of the game. And then, you know, eventually you just make more and more catches, and it's just like, you just want more, you know? And that's just how it was Saturday, and thankfully I got the opportunity. You know, Chris was able to throw me the ball, and you know, O-line was blocking. So it was just a great aspect overall, and just wish we could have came out with the dub.
Could you talk a little bit just about the receiver room in general? It seems like throughout the season, you guys have almost taken turns on who's going to have the biggest game. So, and you guys are always rooting for one another there on the sideline. Just talk about that camaraderie within the group.
That's pretty much our wide receiver room right there. You know, if one's shining, then we're all celebrating. You know, and you know, it's just that chemistry that we have, and ever since we had summer workouts and everything, we just hang out together, and you know, we just want to make plays for each other, you know, and just we always talk about be that guy that makes that play, and you know, that Saturday it was thankfully me, and you know, next Saturday it's gonna be Drake or Zay or maybe all of us, and when it's all of us, then it's gonna be a scary moment for those teams.
Absolutely, and kind of a similar question that was asked to Zach. I mean, just what does this rivalry coming up mean to you personally, and just to this program from your perspective?
You know, being new here and not really knowing much about the rivalry, and just the talks about it now is exciting. You know, just excited to go to Pitt and just playing against our rival 30 minutes away, and just we want to be that team that upsets other people now, you know, and come out with a winning record, and just beating Pitt will just make the town very happy, I think.
Sophomore season, I feel like as the season's gone on, your role has increased, you've gotten more targets. What does that do for your confidence to be a consistent part of this offense?
You know, it's just having the offense, you know, just making sure that I'm a guy that they can rely on, you know. Just making sure that I'm staying confident, and just be like, in these tough moments, who do we want to rely on? And, you know, it's just anybody in the room, really. And me bringing that confidence to the wide receiver room helps like other people make plays as well.
Hey, real quick before Green got hurt, did he become the biggest cheerleader of your wide receiver group when that happened?
Yeah, that's my brother, man. You know, this summer we just got super close, worked out together and everything, and you know, it sucks that he had to be taken out because he would have been a big part of our offense, and he really is a big part of our offense, you know. And just like him being taken out and him cheering me is just a big blessing, you know, to have my brother by my side.
Awesome. Thank you so much.